The world order as we know it is changing. For decades, the West, led by the United States, has held sway. This dominance has been felt in economics, politics, and culture. However, the 21st century is witnessing a seismic shift. The rise of emerging economies, particularly in Asia, is challenging the established order. A new narrative is being written, one where the West no longer holds a monopoly on power. This shift is not merely a matter of economic indicators, it's a fundamental realignment of global influence. As emerging economies flex their muscles, they seek a greater say in shaping the world. This includes reforming global institutions, rewriting trade rules, and challenging the existing financial system. The old order is being questioned, and the outcome is far from certain. The established powers are not passive observers in this transformation. They recognize the changing dynamics and are grappling with how to maintain their position in a world where power is more diffuse. The rules-based international order, often championed by the West, is facing its most significant test yet. The question is not whether the world order is changing, but what form this new order will take. Amidst this global power play, one group of nations has emerged as a potent symbol of change, BRICS. Comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, BRICS represents a diverse coalition of emerging economies. United by their shared ambition to challenge the status quo, these nations are forging a new path in global affairs. Their combined economic weight, demographic heft, and geopolitical ambition make them a force to be reckoned with. BRICS is more than just an acronym, it's a statement. It signifies the belief that the world is no longer unipolar, dominated by a single power. It embodies the aspiration of a multipolar world where power is more evenly distributed and decisions are made through consensus rather than dictate. The rise of BRICS is a testament to the shifting sands of power, reflecting the desire for a more equitable and just global order. The BRICS nations are not a monolithic bloc, and they have their share of differences and internal contradictions. Their political systems vary, their economic models differ, and their regional interests sometimes clash. However, their shared desire to reshape the global order provides a powerful, unifying force. It is this shared ambition that makes BRICS such a compelling case study in the evolving dynamics of global power. The emergence of BRICS presents both opportunities and challenges for the world. On the one hand, it offers the potential for a more balanced and inclusive global order where the voices of emerging economies are heard and their interests are taken into account. On the other hand, it raises concerns about a more fragmented and unpredictable world, where the rules of the game are unclear and the potential for conflict is heightened. The BRICS acronym, coined in 2001 by economist Jim O'Neill of Goldman Sachs, referred to Brazil, Russia, India, and China. These nations shared rapid economic growth. In 2006, their foreign ministers met, formalizing BRIC as a political group. South Africa joined in 2010, forming BRICS. This expanded their global influence. The BRICS nations, individually and collectively, possess a unique set of characteristics that position them as potential challengers to the established world order. Their combined population represents over 40% of humanity, providing a vast human resource pool and a burgeoning consumer market. This demographic weight translates into significant economic leverage, making the BRICS nations attractive partners for trade and investment. Economically, the BRICS nations have experienced remarkable growth in recent decades, outpacing many developed economies. Their combined GDP now accounts for a significant portion of global output, and their share of global trade continues to expand. This economic dynamism fuels their ambitions for a greater say in shaping the rules of the global economy. Beyond their economic heft, the BRICS nations possess abundant natural resources, including energy reserves, minerals, and agricultural land. This resource wealth provides them with a strategic advantage in a world grappling with resource scarcity and climate change. It also enhances their bargaining power in international negotiations and strengthens their bid for self-determination in matters of trade and development. Furthermore, the BRICS nations are increasingly assertive in their foreign policy, seeking to project their influence beyond their immediate regions. They are actively engaged in multilateral forums, forging strategic partnerships and investing in military capabilities. This growing assertiveness reflects their determination to play a more prominent role in shaping the global order. The BRICS grouping is expanding its influence through the BRICS Plus format, engaging with other developing countries. This strategy aims to build a coalition for global governance reform and a more equitable world order. BRICS Plus fosters solidarity, economic ties, and South-South cooperation among developing nations. It amplifies BRICS's voice on global issues and creates new markets and investment opportunities. The inclusive approach positions BRICS as a leading voice for a multipolar and equitable world order. While united by their shared ambition to challenge the Western-dominated world order, the BRICS nations are far from a monolithic bloc. Each member state brings to the table its own unique history, political system, economic model, and regional interests. These internal differences, while not insurmountable, present challenges to the group's cohesiveness and its ability to present a united front on the global stage. One of the key challenges facing BRICS is the disparity in economic development among its members. China, with its massive economy and global reach, stands in stark contrast to South Africa, which faces significant development challenges. This economic imbalance creates different levels of influence and priorities within the group, potentially leading to tensions and disagreements over policy direction. Political differences also pose a challenge to BRICS unity. The group includes democracies such as India and Brazil, alongside authoritarian regimes such as China and Russia. These differing political systems lead to varying approaches to human rights, governance, and international law, making it difficult to find common ground on certain issues. Furthermore, historical rivalries and territorial disputes between some BRICS members, such as India and China, add another layer of complexity to the group's dynamics. These unresolved issues have the potential to spill over into the BRICS Forum, hindering cooperation and undermining the group's ability to present a united front. The US dollar's dominance has defined the post-World War II era. This dominance benefits the US but creates vulnerabilities for emerging economies. BRICS nations see the dollar-centric system as a constraint on their sovereignty. They seek alternatives to reduce dependence on the US dollar. De-dollarization is gaining traction among BRICS nations, aiming to reduce reliance on the US dollar. They promote local currencies and develop alternative payment systems like Russia's SPFS and China's CIPS. Diversifying reserves away from the US dollar, they hold more euros, yuan, and gold. The idea of a BRICS currency aims to challenge the US dollar's dominance and provide financial autonomy. However, it faces significant challenges, including economic convergence and policy coordination. A credible central bank-like institution would be essential for managing the currency. The currency's success depends on its acceptance and use beyond the BRICS bloc. The BRICS nations' pursuit of de-dollarization and the exploration of alternative financial arrangements represent a significant challenge to the existing global financial order. While the full implications of these efforts remain to be seen, the transition away from a dollar-centric system is likely to be gradual and fraught with challenges. One of the key risks associated with a rapid or disorderly de-dollarization is the potential for financial instability. The US dollar's deep liquidity and its role as the primary currency for global trade and finance mean that any sudden shift away from the dollar could trigger market volatility and disrupt global economic activity. Furthermore, the pursuit of de-dollarization by BRICS nations could be met with resistance from the United States and its allies. The US has a vested interest in maintaining the dollar's dominance, and it may view efforts to undermine the dollar's status as a threat to its economic and geopolitical power. Moreover, the success of BRICS's de-dollarization efforts will depend on the group's ability to overcome internal divisions and present a united front. Differences in economic priorities, political systems, and geopolitical interests could hinder cooperation on financial matters and limit the effectiveness of their efforts to reshape the global financial order. The energy nexus, fueling BRICS' ascent. Energy security is crucial for BRICS's rapid industrialization and growing populations. Russia supplies oil and gas, while Brazil excels in biofuels and renewables. China leads in solar and wind power, fostering collaboration in clean energy. BRICS's energy cooperation enhances their global market leverage and solidarity. Forging new paths, BRICS, and the transformation of global trade. The BRICS nations are driving a fundamental shift in global trade patterns. They are forging new trade routes, diversifying partners, and promoting South-South trade. This transformation is reshaping the global economic landscape. Intra-BRICS trade is rising rapidly, driven by economic complementarities. Reduced trade barriers and a desire to reduce dependence on the West fuel this growth. BRICS nations are also promoting trade with other developing countries. This South-South trade is expanding rapidly, creating new markets and access to essential goods. The BRICS nations are advocating for a more equitable global trading system. The Belt and Road Initiative, China's ambitious play for global connectivity. China's Belt and Road Initiative is a massive infrastructure program transforming global trade and connectivity. Often called a modern Silk Road, it connects China with Asia, Africa, Europe, and beyond. The BRI offers opportunities and challenges for BRICS nations. It can upgrade infrastructure, attract investment, and boost growth. However, India has concerns about sovereignty and strategic interests. Managing these interests is complex but crucial for economic development. BRICS nations share a common interest in reshaping global trade patterns, but their economic relationships face challenges. Competition for resources and markets can create friction, requiring careful navigation. China's manufacturing capacity is both an engine of growth and a source of competition. Its low-cost goods challenge domestic industries in India and South Africa. This competition can push BRICS nations to develop more competitive industries. Despite differences, BRICS nations recognize the importance of cooperation. They have established mechanisms for dialogue and cooperation on trade and investment issues. The BRICS Business Council provides a platform for business leaders to explore opportunities and advocate for policies. Managing these complex relationships will be crucial for BRICS's long-term success. By fostering partnership and win-win solutions, BRICS can reshape global trade for a more balanced and inclusive economic order. The BRICS grouping faces a fundamental question. Can nations with diverse political systems and economic models maintain unity on the global stage? Internal cohesion has plagued BRICS since its inception, casting a shadow over its ambitions. Democracies like India and Brazil contrast with authoritarian regimes like China and Russia. These differences lead to divergent views on human rights and governance. Economic disparities and historical rivalries further complicate BRICS's unity. China's economic transformation has been remarkable, driving BRICS's prominence. However, its rise has fueled anxieties among BRICS partners. The Belt and Road Initiative is viewed with suspicion, especially by India. Concerns about debt trap diplomacy and strategic implications persist. China's dominance in manufacturing creates economic friction within BRICS. The influx of cheap Chinese goods undermines domestic industries. China's assertive foreign policy raises concerns about its ambitions. BRICS members are torn between relations with China and strategic interests. India, the world's largest democracy and a rising economic power in its own right, occupies a pivotal position within the BRICS grouping. While embracing the BRICS platform as a means to advance its interests in a multipolar world, India also maintains close ties with the West, particularly the United States, creating a delicate balancing act for New Delhi. India's strategic partnership with the United States, driven by shared concerns about China's growing assertiveness, has deepened in recent years. This partnership encompasses a wide range of areas, including defense cooperation, intelligence sharing, and joint military exercises. However, India's close ties with the US have not come at the expense of its BRICS membership. India views the BRICS grouping as a platform to amplify its voice on global issues, particularly in reforming global governance institutions like the United Nations Security Council, where it seeks a permanent seat. Moreover, India sees value in deepening economic ties with other BRICS members, particularly in areas like energy cooperation, trade, and infrastructure development. India's balancing act between BRICS and the West reflects its pragmatic approach to foreign policy, prioritizing its own national interests above all else. While engaging with BRICS to advance its economic and geopolitical goals, India remains wary of becoming too closely aligned with any one bloc, preferring to maintain its strategic autonomy and hedge its bets in an increasingly uncertain world. The BRICS grouping has the potential to reshape the world order but faces significant internal challenges and resistance from established powers. Differing political systems and regional interests often lead to conflicting priorities and policy disagreements. Despite these limitations, BRICS represents a significant challenge to the existing world order. Its emergence reflects the shifting balance of power and the desire for a more equitable global system. The emergence of BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, marks a profound shift in the geopolitical landscape. These dynamic economies are challenging Western dominance, advocating for a more multipolar world. Their combined economic might and growing geopolitical ambition signal the dawn of a new era. The BRICS nations have emerged as a formidable force for change. They have established their own institutions to rival Western-dominated ones. Promoting trade and investment among themselves, they reduce reliance on Western markets. They are exploring alternative reserve currencies and payment systems. These bold moves reflect a growing confidence among BRICS nations. The BRICS nations' quest for a more multipolar world resonates with many developing countries. These countries see in BRICS a champion for their own aspirations. This growing support from the Global South has emboldened BRICS. The world is witnessing a tectonic shift in power dynamics led by BRICS. The BRICS nations face significant challenges in reshaping the global order. Internal divisions, external pressures, and complex global governance hinder their progress. Diverse political systems and regional interests challenge internal cohesion. External pressures from established powers further complicate their ambitions. Navigating this landscape requires deft diplomacy and pragmatic approaches. The BRICS nations, despite the challenges they face, represent a powerful force for change in the 21st century. Their emergence as a geopolitical bloc reflects the aspirations of billions of people for a more equitable and just world order, one where their voices are heard, their interests are respected, and their potential is fully realized. The BRICS nations' emphasis on South-South cooperation, their commitment to multilateralism, and their advocacy for a more democratic and inclusive system of global governance offer a ray of hope in an increasingly uncertain world. Their success in navigating the challenges ahead will depend on their ability to strengthen internal cohesion, forge strategic partnerships with other like-minded countries, and engage constructively with established powers to shape a more stable and prosperous world order. The world is at a crossroads, facing unprecedented challenges that require global cooperation and shared responsibility. Climate change, pandemics, economic inequality, and geopolitical tensions threaten to undermine peace and prosperity for all. The BRICS nations, with their growing economic and political clout, have a unique opportunity and a responsibility to contribute to a more sustainable, equitable, and peaceful world order. Their success in doing so will not only benefit their own citizens, but also contribute to a better future for all humankind.